What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Errol here from Sports Geek. Was going to come on and talk about if the Yankees can sign Juan Soto, and lo and behold, they re-extend Garrett Cole. So I was going to talk about Garrett Cole and Anthony Rizzo, but let's just jump right into it. Yeah, Garrett Cole's back. Here it is. Official news, breaking news. Let me share the screen. Sorry I've been away, guys. I've been have a crazy work schedule. And there you go. Breaking news. Cole staying with the New York Yankees on existing deals. So like I said before in a previous show, all they had to do is add a year back into his contract, one more year, $36 million, and he opted right back in. So it wasn't really going anywhere. I, for one, I wasn't sure about them keeping him because he is getting older. But then as I started to look at that, like I watched the game again, the last game where they lost the World Series. And, when you think about it, Cole pitched pretty well, unequivocally pitched well. He really didn't give up any runs. It was the errors that kind of did him in from the outfield, the infield, and things like that kind of caused the problem. So solid pitcher. I think as he gets older, is there a case for possible injury? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a case for possible injury. But you got to take that chance, right? As he gets older, Cole knows how to pitch. He's going to pitch with finesse. He's going to sorry about that. He's going to pitch with poise, and he's a pitcher's pitcher. Not to mention he could be a veteran lead for the young guys coming up and the young guys that are currently in the rotation. So Cole staying with the Yankees, excellent news there. I'll get back to this later because I want to talk about Rizzo opting out, how that helps out with the Soto money. But the main topic for today is, boom. Why is this not working? Can the Yankees sign Juan Soto? That's right. That's the main topic. So at first I thought about this and I said to myself, no, I said, is Juan Soto worth the kind of money he's looking for? Answer is no, absolutely not. Does Juan Soto deserve to get paid? Yes, he does. Why am I saying he's not worth that kind of money? If his agent, that Merck, Boris, wants $700 million, once again, that's only because Shohei Ohtani got $700 million. Yes, the gambler. Shohei Ohtani has the ability to pitch and the ability to hit. He's a two-way player. Therefore, if you just do the math, at $700 million, $350 for the pitcher, $350 for a hitter. That's what he does. That's the math. Now, as Shohei gets older, he's not going to be able to do both. His body won't allow it. So the Dodgers are going to say, hey, Shohei, what do you want to do? You now say 35. See, he's 30 right now. So say 5 more years, 35 on to 36. When he's 36, they'll say, hey, maybe you should either pitch or hit. Which one do you want to choose? Because they've got a long-term investment of a lot of money tied up in Shohei. They're going to squeeze every single dollar out of that guy to make sure they get their money's worth. It's just how it is on that large of a contract. Now, two-way player, $700 million. Soto is an excellent hitter. He's the best left-handed hitter in all of baseball, hands down. Does he deserve $700 million? I personally don't think so, but that's my opinion. Does he deserve 550, 600, 650, 625? Maybe he does. That's more reasonable, right? Even at that dollar amount, that's an extraordinary amount of money for a team to tie up on one player. God forbid he gets hurt. And if he gets hurt bad, it doesn't come back the same. What do you do with him? Who's going to take on that contract when he can't play? If you guys remember anything, think about Jacoby Ellsbury. He got hurt and was never the same. The Yankees suffered for years with that contract. For years. The other thing that I see out there, people are saying, hey, let's just take that money, not re-sign him, and spread it around. I don't know if that's the case as well. Guys, whoever's watching, please feel free to respond in the chat. I'll comment on them as soon as I get to them. But I don't know about that as well, right? If you spread the money around, first of all, you brought in the best left-handed hitter in baseball to pair up with Aaron Judge. That's where he should stay. That's where he should be. I think the Yankees should offer a competitive offer, say around 600. Let's start there. It's not a lowball offer, but it's close, right? And I don't think Cash is going to be dealing with this. I think it's going to be all Hal, right? I feel that's fair enough offer, but here's the problem with that. If you won't go back and watch, I think it was Cashman on the Sal Licata show back in the day, a little after trade deadline. They asked him a bunch of questions about putting in bids for a player, like when you were going up against Yamamoto or you're trying to re-sign Judge, right? I think that was the discussion. And he goes, "Did you know what was going on?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "We put an offer in or bid in, but nobody got back to us." And so Sal Licata, and I forget the other guy's name, I apologize. They're like, "How do you not know?" He goes, "The agents didn't call us to say anything. So how do we know what's going on?" It's like you put a bid in and you're hoping you get a call back. That's crazy. So people who think that they could just go, "Oh, here's Soto, here's 600 million or 700 million, whatever the deal is." If his agent doesn't keep you in the loop or say, "Hey man, we've got more money someplace else," or calling a bluff, and maybe you have to play by the rules with that bluff to say, "Okay, well, let's go a little bit higher." And what's stopping the agent from going to another team? "Hey, the Yankees just give me 725. Are you going to do 750? Right? This game can go on and on. But from what I heard him explain in that discussion with Sal Licata, they don't know. It's like a blind bid. Put in your bids and let's see who's the highest bid. And if the agent wants to play a certain team, although that player might want a preference, a la Yamamoto, for example, he played the Yankees and the Mets to get the most money to go to the Dodgers. He wanted to be with Shohei Ohtani. He wanted to play along with the Japanese counterpart, and that's where he wanted to go. So he used two teams to get the top dollar from the Dodgers, which he did. But what I'm saying is, I think we have to realize that any team can put in a bid, and if it's not close and the agent doesn't get back to you, right, you're screwed. Could the Yankees say, "Hey, could we have last rights? Like before you sign anywhere, can you get back to us?" Yes. Does the agent have to oblige? They could say, "No, I'm not doing that." I've seen it done before where teams have asked, can we get the last rights to come back? And if you're not where we need to be, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Now, does Juan Soto have the ability to say, "Hey man, I really want to play at the Yankees. What's their offer? I like being there. What's their offer?" Can we go back? Okay, if they're at 650, can we go back and say, "Hey, can you offer them? Can you say 675? Forget the 700 million the Mets are offering. I'm yours." Will he do that? Or is he about the money? Right? We can't say he's greedy. Every player should make what they want to make. Do I think that they should make that? No, I don't. I get it. It's their life. They worked hard for it. They've sacrificed. That's an awful lot of money. That's an awful lot of money, right? So can they sign him? I think the Yankees are going to put a competitive offer into Juan Soto. Why? Because there's nobody else to replace him. The dude gets on base. His OPS is out of control. He hits. He gets walks. Is he a good defender? He's average at best, or maybe a little bit below average. Or right. I mean, he's in contention for a Gold Glove, right? I think that the issue with the Yankees last year, or this past last year, I'm talking like it's 2025, right? The past few weeks or this past season, and I said it before, the defensive analytics were shit. Too many guys as I see were shaded way just incorrectly in the outfield and incorrectly in the infield. And that's why you saw balls get through. Or Verdugo's running his ass off to catch up to a ball hit down the line. Same thing with Soto. Shaded too much towards, right center. Right? And they have to try to run the ball. I think that defensive analytics, that team needs to be replaced going forward. I believe the fundamentals team needs to be replaced going forward. Why? The Dodgers said it. They actually gave us the keys to the castle. They said, if you hit and put the ball in play against the Yankees, they will self-destruct because they don't have fundamentals, which is why they actually handed the World Series to the Dodgers. No surprise. No, I said the team was kind of flawed since the beginning of the year because, yes, we got Soto, we got Verdugo, we got Stroman, and a few of the pieces, and I was happy with that. But I'm like, this team is far from finished. It's far from polished. Far from polished. So Going forward, we'll see what can't speak. We'll see what the bids come in for Juan Soto. It's going to be an interesting offseason. And I know he played the part of how he was coached on what to say after the World Series per his agent. But honestly, there's not going to be a lot of teams that can afford him. They just can't. They can't. I'm going to do another show and kind of do a breakdown. I have Mondays and Tuesdays off. That's my days off. So I'm going to do a show at least every Monday to stay consistent. However, I'm going to do a report and see what teams money coming off payroll, coming off the books, and see what teams can actually sign Juan Soto. And does he want to play for a contender? Because there's small market teams that have $100 million payroll, a la the Rays. But does he want to play for them? Are they contending? Or is it once again just about the money? Right? I think he wants the best of both worlds. He wants the most money and he wants to play for a contender. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right? So I think if people are freaking out that he might walk, and the only way he walks is if he doesn't get a good offer. And that really comes down to Hal. I believe Hal is going to handle the negotiations with Scott Boras. Boras has said he's good friends with Hal. Well, not good friends, but he knows Hal. They have a good working relationship. That's positive. And I think if they remain in conversation, because listen, Boras is going to want to leverage the Yankees to any other team as well. He knows the Yankees need Juan Soto, right? To pair with Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge by himself is great. He'll get you to the postseason, but he doesn't contribute as much during the postseason. So you need a guy like Juan Soto to pair with him, as well as a few others going forward. Now, can the Yankees afford this? I think they can. I think there is a limit in the budget because once you go over that threshold, that luxury tax is what kills you. The luxury tax is what kills the Yankees payroll. And I'll do a show on that as well. Right? I don't really understand how much the luxury tax affects the team. Is it, 90 cents on every dollar? Is it 50 cents on every dollar? I have to do some research and find that out to see, because the reason why the Dodgers can afford Shohei Ohtani's contract is he's not making a lot right now. A lot of it is deferred down the line, which is why they can go out and get a Tyler Glass now. They can go out and get, a Teoscar Hernandez and so on and so forth, and sign all these big time players because a Yamamoto. Because if they have to pay 90% or 50%, whatever it is, on every dollar to Shohei, that contract would be a lot more. The pair will be out of control. So with that said, I'm going to take the opinion that the Yankees can sign him. If Hal wants him to come back, Hal will find a way to make it happen. Do they have to move things around? Absolutely. Garrett Cole's already back. So, like I said, here it is. Breaking news. Boom. Garrett Cole's back. Signed, sealed, delivered. Done. Bam. Okay? So that money is added to the bottom line. Right? So how do you get creative? I think the Yankees are going to rebuild a team by trading players. Like trade maybe a Nestor Cortez. Trade maybe a Marcus Stroman. I don't think they'll get rid of Carlos Rodon, although I would love to see a different starting pitcher. I think Rodon did well this year, but to me, it still wasn't good enough. I would say he needs to perform 2025 to make me a believer. And if not, at that point, if I were Cashman, I'd start looking at how can I eat some of this contract and get somebody else in there. Right? Do I think the Yankees need to trade for another starting pitcher? Absolutely. To pair with Cole. And maybe Rodon's third and Clark Schmidt's fourth. I don't know. Or Luis Hill takes a step forward. But you can't leave the rotation the way it is. If there are things they can do to get creative, I just don't know if they'll do it. If you don't have a space in your minors for these young players coming up, then trade them. If they're not going to fit on the team, get rid of them. Trade them for people who you do need and make it work. Do I think Ben Rice is the solution first base? Maybe with playing time. Maybe if he does the Winter League, we'll see how he does. I don't know. He's not very good defensively. I'm not sure where TJ Rumfield is, why they won't play him. He's a better defensive first baseman that hits for average. Maybe the pop's not there, but that could come along down the road. Right? They have to get somebody at first base. Could they go with Christian Walker? Yeah, they could. That would immediately put some pop, and the guy hits like 250, 268, 252 to 260 batting average. We had a huge hole this year at first base. Rizzo did shine in the playoffs and towards the end of the season, but we were lacking at the first base position this year. It wasn't very productive. That needs to be addressed. Right? So with so many issues and so many problems, can they get out of their own way? Can they actually make deals and trades this offseason to better the team? I think they can if they want to go back. They're close. The first thing is signing Soto. Once you have that wrapped up, and I hope and pray to God it doesn't get dragged through the entire offseason. I think teams need to say that, listen, we need to get this wrapped up before Christmas. Otherwise, we're moving on because we have other people to go sign. Because now, until Soto's off the board, you won't see any of the other players really sign. I say minor type B players, maybe, yes. But the main players aren't going to want to go, especially if they're controlled by Boris, right? But we saw what happened last year. That was a shit show. I'm sure a lot of his agents are upset with him for holding out when the money wasn't there. The inflationary costs for players rise way above what they're actually worth, I feel, in my opinion. It's crazy. So the Yankees need a solution at second base or just move Jazz there. I don't think Gleyber's going to come back, especially that he performed well in the postseason. So he's going to want a probably long-term deal. I think a qualifying offer will be made. Will Gleyber take it? Possibly. But then that's $19 million back on the books. You have Caleb Durbin in the minors. What's he doing down there? Bring him up. Let him play second base. Or move Jazz to second and get a third baseman. The only problem is the only good third basemen that are left in free agency they're going to cost the Yankees a lot of money. So maybe you leave Jazz at third and you backfill second base with Caleb Durbin or somebody from the minors or somebody on the cheap that you can trade for that's under team control for a while, right? Catching depth. Are we going to continue with Trevino? Doesn't have an arm. Hopefully they have some catching depth in the minors. I believe that they do. Maybe somebody's ready to come up and pair with Austin Wells. That can throw people out. If you have a guy that can throw people out, other teams won't be so ready to run against you and put the pressure on your defense, which was fundamentally flawed this past year. If you got a cannon arm back there, yeah, go ahead and try and run. It ain't going to happen. You keep people at bay. Right? For the outfield, I'm saying play Dominguez in center. And you got to find Judge a different position. If you don't bring Soto back, Judge plays right. Now you got to go figure out who your left fielder is. Or maybe you move Judge to left. And Soto, if you sign Soto, he stays in right. But you need a real center fielder out there. Judge is great in right field. He is. And he's not bad in center. And I think he played that position this year because the Yankees did not have a center fielder. Remember, Dominguez was injured. So he took it upon himself because I'll play center. Not because he wanted to. There was no other option. Who are we going to put out there? Soto? Verdugo? So he played center. That was the option the Yankees had. The Yankees have several out of position players. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in baseball. They got a guy that plays second base is playing third. They got a guy who plays right field is playing center. I can go on and on. Just out of position players. Why? Enough. Get people who, I understand that athletes need to be a little bit more athletic and play multiple positions, but dude, get people who play their position well. And believe me, the defense comes with that. Right? So we're going to hope that the Yankees can get out of their own way. We're going to hope. As for Anthony Rizzo, they did not pick up his contract. Didn't pick it up. And Rizzo's a good guy, a good player. I could see where he's a clubhouse guy, a veteran leader, but we need to get somebody who's going to perform at that position. It's that simple. It's nothing against Rizzo. It's nothing against they don't like him, but they got to put that money towards Soto. So who can they pick up? Is it going to be Christian Walker? I don't know. Will that make the lineup too right-handed? I don't know. Could they trade for a first baseman that's left-handed hitting? Maybe. Maybe. I'll do some research once again and bring another outlook or blueprint that we can use to look and see what's out there. Once again, I do think they need another solid starting pitcher, or maybe they trade for somebody. As for bullpen help, the Yankees are good at bullpen help. That's what they're good at. They're good at finding players that can go into their bullpen and adapt to how they want them to throw. I'm not worried about that. They could pick anybody up in the offseason, but right now they have to focus on either getting Soto back, and if not, pivoting to who else is out there. Anthony Santander. Who are they going to pivot to? Who are they going to pivot to? So a lot needs to be discussed with what's going on. As for the 40-man roster, they did add some people to the 40-man roster. Let me see. Yankees. A 40-man. Clayton Beater, JT Brubaker, Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, Jake Cousins, Yerry De Los Santos, Scott Efros, Luis Heel, Yoanjis Gomez, Ian Hamilton, Mark Leiter, Tim Meza, Cody Poteet. I should just show you guys this. There we go. There's your 40-man roster for this year. Tim Meza, Cody Poteet, Carlos Rodon, Clark Schmidt, Mark Strong, Will Warren, Luke Weaver. I think they picked up Luke Weaver's contract, by the way. That was a no-brainer. It's like $2 million. There's your closer. JC Escara, I guess he's been added. Carlos Narvaez. Now that'd be good too. Trevino needs to go. Wells, John Birdie, Oswaldo Cabrera, DJ LeMahieu. They need to see if they can offload DJ LeMahieu. He's taking up a roster spot. Yorba Vivas can also play second base. The Yankees have a good young infield. John Birdie. Jason Dominguez, Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, Everson Pereira. That's right, he was injured. And Giancarlo Stanton. Lots going on. Lots going on, people. But I don't want to bore you guys too much with, how can they mix and match and fix things. We're kind of sick of the fact that they duct tape the roster. It needs some deep thought, deep consideration to find out what they can do to actually be a playoff caliber and contending team for 2025. And I think, honestly, it all starts with Juan Soto. It all starts there, and you can build around him. At 26 years old, you can build around Juan Soto. As Giancarlo gets older, Aaron Judge can become a DH. Right? Now you really start moving some things around, and they could actually start anticipating and building the team for the future. And just getting older. So, another 3-4 years, he's there. He's going to be a DH. So anyway, guys, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. It's always appreciated. Appreciate you guys always tuning in. Check it out. Listen to what I have to say. But right now, Garrett Cole is a Yankee. He has re-upped. One piece of the puzzle solved. Let's try and get puzzle number 2, which is Juan Soto. Okay, guys, I'll see you soon. I'm going to put a show together with some stats, player options that we can, kind of build the team around. I'm going to do some monetary research on what, to kind of keep the team under budget. Definitely get them below $300 million. We could build a good team below $300 million with Juan Soto and Garrett Cole and a few other pieces in there. We just have to trade smart. Trade. If the prospects aren't being used in the minors, trade them for controllable players that are proven talent in the majors. It's that simple. All right, guys, I'm Errol from Sports Geek. Appreciate the time. Like and subscribe and comment. I will see you guys soon. Have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.